Crew Cup Cartel.
Activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. And on today's show, you guys know what the deal is if you read the details. Hopefully you did. I got a very special guest today. Very special guest. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share because it's going to be hot fire. Absolutely. Right now, Minnesota's in the spotlight and it's for nothing good. Oh yeah, it's nothing but shame. Nothing but shame. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, I have a very special guest. He goes by the name of Laverne Turner. He is a former mayoral candidate out of Minneapolis. Mr. Laverne Turner, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've ran into you a few times, in the street here, and especially in the Facebook streets. It get real rough out there. You know what I'm saying?
All right, social media world. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I seen you doing some good things, and I wanted to bring you on here and have you introduced to my audience because I think that, My audience needs to get to know who you are, especially being in the Stomper grounds in Minnesota and in Minneapolis. Can you, just introduce yourself for, to our beautiful crowd, for folks that just don't know who you are yet?
Right. Yeah, my name is Laverne Turner. I'm a lifelong resident of Minneapolis. Grew up on the South Side. Went to Roosevelt High School, played varsity basketball. I went to college. I went to St. Mary's of Minnesota in Winona. I transferred from there to a HBCU called Morris Brown College, right there in the AUC in Atlanta. Right, go Wolverines. Okay. When I left college, I came home, and while I was trying to, figure out what I was going to do with myself after life after college, I got involved with the local political scene here. That was around 1997, 98. If y'all remember around that time.
Oh yeah.
That was when Jesse Ventura was running for governor as an independent. So I got involved with the Independent Party back then. As a young 22-year-old kid out of college. I worked on Jesse's transition team. I had some leadership positions in the party for a little while. I actually ran for state House of Representatives back in 2000, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then I also ran for state senate back in South Minneapolis in 2002. Managed some grassroots campaigns for city council. Stayed involved politically. In 2003, I worked at the state capitol in the House of Representatives as a page. I was able to get that gig. I worked a session there. That was Pelletti's first term, first year.
Oh, okay.
Worked there, and then after I left the House, I started a nonprofit where I mentored inner city youth, high-risk inner city youth, through community athletics. Did that for about 20 years. Served a lot of kids in Minneapolis and St. Paul through basketball, football, soccer. Then I kind of stopped doing the mentoring thing because I started to realize that even though I was doing the recreational sports thing and providing leadership and some mentorship to kids in need, I kind of felt like even though I was doing good work, things seemed to still be getting worse. So I wanted to know what more could I do. So I got back in the political arena in 2018, put my hat in the ring for U.S. Congress for the 5th CD in Minnesota against Ilhan Omar. I didn't end up getting the endorsement of the Republican Party at the time, so I ended up withdrawing and supporting the endorsed candidate. Lacey Johnson, the endorsed candidates, I did a little work for him. He liked my idea of reaching out to the inner city youth. He liked my idea of getting out to the inner city youth and getting them engaged in civil service, civics, and kind of teaching them about governance, policy, stuff like that. So he brought me on, and we paid some young Northside youth to work on his campaign, to allow it dropping, door knocking, things of that nature. And then in 2021, I decided to run for Minneapolis mayor, which was something that I really didn't really want to do. I mean, it wasn't on my, I never had the ambitions to be the mayor of Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. But with the George Floyd riot after COVID and the current elected officials in Minneapolis, Jacob Fry and at the time, city council person, Philip Cunningham, and all the back and forth and bickering and sounding like 8th graders arguing about who supported the funding of the police first and who wasn't. I feel like where are the adults? Where are the grown-ups in the room?
Yeah.
Right? So I ended up throwing my hat in the ring for mayor in 2021, late in the game. no real infrastructure, no real support. But I came in fifth, right? A known Republican coming in fifth in the Minneapolis mayor's race. So it was actually kind of surprised me. So I thought I'd try it again in 2025, which I had at least on the ground with individual voters and people in Minneapolis. I thought I had a really nice base of support. I couldn't raise the funds that I really needed to raise to be competitive, and also had the media and the DFL controls sort of the political environment here in Minneapolis. Really tried to shut me out. Really tried to shut me out. Didn't invite me to debates. Really made it hard for me to compete. But of course I lost that race. But for me, there's always 2026, and what drives me, what motivates me is that I've noticed the decline in Minneapolis for over 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Right. Even though it's kind of law and order perspective has been eating at us slowly for decades. Right. So though I lost this race in 2025 for mayor, I feel like I can't give up. I got to keep going. So in 2026, I'm going to do whatever I can to help any good candidate for statewide office that can provide better governance and leadership than what the Democrats have done in the last 12 to 16 years. So that's what I'm doing. Keep the fight. It's always.
And let me tell you something. That's what needs to be done for change. In 2018, when I ran, I believe I saw you and Lacey Johnson, right? I believe I seen you guys there, and it was let me tell you, it was a very big wake up call for a lot of folks, seeing folks like us get into the race that wanted a change. You get what I'm saying? Melissa Ortman, I lost against her, not by that many votes, but it was a different time then, and I think with the political atmosphere now, I think a lot of people are looking for a change. So I'm hoping that we'll have folks who think like us, who are able to come up and actually raise the good money to get into office there. I've been thinking about running as well again. A lot of folks have been pushing me. A lot of folks, let me tell you, they want to give me an endorsement, but I'm not per se ready to, go out and step on that limb right now. Almost got everything together, almost. With that being said, brother, I want to speak to you about what's going on in Minneapolis. I was born and raised in that area all my life. I went to school in Mankato. I graduated in Mankato, have a degree in corrections and law enforcement. I went into the Army for 12 years, came out, did law enforcement, did corrections, went to go get my master's, and then now I'm running my mouth, sitting down running my mouth, beating kids with my belt. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing all day now. And I'm kind of upset how Minneapolis is turning out to be. It never used to be like that. It used to be a very vibrant area. No matter what color you are, people seem to get along. And that was, Minneapolis selling point. You get what I'm saying? People can come there with all different type of backgrounds, and you can get together and you're able to get along, and you're able to get, different foods from different cultures and all this type of stuff. And now it's turned all to hell. And I'm blaming the policies that are coming from the Democrats for that. What things have you noticed that have changed, during let's say the last 10, 15 years in Minneapolis? What things have you seen that have changed?
Well, obviously, the extreme rise in crime is
Mm-hmm.
one. The affordability issue,
Oh,
second.
yep. Taxes through the roof.
Taxes. Um, uh, and also a livability issue is, housing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, how affordability for housing now is insane,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because, for the last 8 years that Jacob Fry has been in office, he's raised property taxes 5 to 8% every year. And when you raise property taxes on property owners, what do? They pass that on to the renter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that simple, you know? Um, and a lot of things have changed. I mean, the influx of, there's always, let me stop that.
Even the immigration, correct? I would
The,
say.
the, for the last 30 years, the influx of Hispanic illegal immigrants been a constant.
Oh yeah.
It might have been more rapid or bigger percentages under Biden, but before Biden, there's always been that sanctuary come to Minneapolis illegal immigrant narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That's been there for 30 years. Uh, and then, of course, in the last 20, 25 years, you have the explosion of the Somali community. That's changed Minneapolis a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying good or bad, but it's changed Minneapolis a lot. Overall politics of the city governance that used to be pretty moderate, um, middle of the road, blue dog Democrat type, politicians. Now they're all Marxists, socialists, and communists. They say they're progressives or liberals or whatever, but they're communists. They're
Yeah.
socialists. And that's why Minneapolis is a sanctuary city. And that's why we have at least 200,000 illegal Hispanic immigrants in Minneapolis right now. That is why Democrat control, over the last 16 years, but then, in the last couple of years with the DFL trifecta, there's been no accountability. There's no checks and balances, and there's no consequences for when someone actually does something wrong. And when there's no consequences, and people know there's no consequences, people get more emboldened, and the fraud, the lack of law and order gets more emboldened.
Yeah.
And that's where we are today. I think the schools have suffered. I remember, I'm a Gen X, right? I remember, back in my day, just giving out free condoms to kids was a big deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Free condoms to, right? Now, in my old high school at Roosevelt, there's a full-blown daycare for the mothers who have young kids and still going to high school.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? It went from giving out free condoms to having a full-blown daycare for the students who have kids and still going to high school, at the school. And then, of course, the over-sexualization of our children. The hyper-sexualization of our children with this super LGBTQ agenda and this 1,000 genders and the transgender movement being pushed on elementary age children. I mean, there's so many things that have changed in Minneapolis because of this extreme Democrat, if you want to call them Democrat, I call them what they are, the communist or socialist agenda that has really ruined Minneapolis.
Yeah.
It's just ruined Minneapolis. It's just ruined it.
Yeah. It's the
Minneapolis, you have a thriving business community.
Mm-hmm.
Thriving business community. Innovation. Always have the new thing. Our business community is suffering. All right, we got mom and pop shops all over the city closing down. Even big business is suffering. I'm pretty sure you're aware of a lot of the giant high rises and what they call skyscrapers in downtown Minneapolis that are vacant. That are trying to sell for pennies on the dollar from what they were worth. I mean, this communist leadership of the city council and the leadership of a progressive mayor who has no spine has ruined Minneapolis. It's ruined Minneapolis.
He's absolutely ruined Minneapolis.
If you want to talk about what we're dealing with now as far as the illegal immigration deportation thing, it's ruined Minneapolis.
He's absolutely...
The resistance of the leadership here, of the Trump administration to clear out illegal immigrants here, especially the criminal element of the illegal immigration, it's inciting violence.
Mm-hmm.
It's making the federal government's job harder. They're encouraging citizens not just to legally exercise their right to protest, they're encouraging people to commit acts of violence. They're advocating and encouraging people to attack federal agents. I mean, what they're doing is criminal.
Yeah.
And they're doing it because they're trying to create a distraction from the fraud and the thievery and the horrible governance that they've done up to this point. They know what they're doing. They're using the liberal people in Minneapolis who hate Trump. They're using that fact to help distract against their terrible governance and fraud and criminality. And I'm not afraid. I'm afraid. It's scary. It's ugly. But things are going to get worse before they get better. Because for them, for the Democrats, for the current leadership here, this is a to the end type battle. Yeah. They're going to fight this as hard as they can because when they lose, if they lose, they're going to lose. But in their minds, if they lose, they know they're going to prison.
Yep.
And they're trying their hardest to fight that. You know, this ain't about illegal immigration. This ain't about Renee Good. This isn't about racism against the Somali community. This is about them trying to fight to the end, hoping that they won't end up in prison for the things that they've already done while they've been in office, period.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. That's why they're fighting so hard right now, and they're doing so much to get Trump and the federal government out of there. You get what I'm saying? They're trying so hard to do that. I believe that this whole fraud scheme and everything that's going on is DNC national embezzlement fraud scheme. That's what I believe. I believe this fraud is meant to shovel money into the DNC's coffers, and they've been doing it for a very long time. And since Trump has came now and has shed the light on there, now they have made it to about immigration. They've made it about the Somalis. They made it about xenophobia and racism and everything else instead of telling what the real truth is, you know. And the DFL has done a fantastic job in this state, turning the minds of the young folks and a lot of white folks, to tell you the truth, going crazy. It's almost like they can't think. You know, they're too emotional.
Well, it's not hard when you have the legacy media every hour and an hour giving out fake propaganda to on this fear mongering and opposing Trump's agenda. It's easy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. They did it during the George Floyd back in 2020. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But at this time around, since Trump's not a novice this time, and he's not making the mistakes that a novice would, I don't think he's going to fall for that this time around. I don't think he's worried about being called a dictator or being evil or racist or whatever slander, Hitler, whatever slander they want to throw at him. He's going to do what he said he was going to do, and he's going to do the right thing for America. And to me, his efforts in removing illegal immigrants, nonviolent or whatever, is the right thing to do. Clamping down on the fraud is the right thing to do. And if they committed fraud and they're an immigrant, they should lose their citizenship and be sent back to where they came from.
Absolutely.
All that is a just cause. All that is a just cause. But the Democrats know that they've committed some criminality, and they're using the American public or the Minnesota public or the American public to try to get out of exposing their criminality.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so desperate. I mean, it's a losing battle.
Yeah,
it's a losing battle, and they're so desperate. Every time they do something to fight against Trump and protect themselves from their criminality being exposed, they do something just as worse, like going into the church this Sunday and terrorizing that congregation.
Yep.
All you're doing is giving the federal government more reason to prosecute you because you continue to break more laws.
Yeah. They don't care about that. See, they're so caught up in this fraud. They're doing what it's just like you said. They're very desperate. They're doing whatever they can to try to make sure that Trump can get away from here. Because once Trump figures out what's going on, and I believe that Trump has probably already figured out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's just now putting the pieces together, and they don't want him to do this. If the national public found out exactly what was going on, it would be an uproar. So, of course, you can see all the nonsense going on in Minneapolis. Hey, we want them to get the F out of here. What politician speaks like this? You know what I'm saying? What politician speaks like this?
A guilty one.
Exactly.
A guilty one. And it ain't just the politicians. It ain't just the politicians. It's some people in the state agencies. There's the nonprofit activist community. All these people got it coming, and they know it. That's why they're doing the most desperate acts, trying to act like they're innocent and standing up for justice, even though, it's just a front to try to win the hearts and minds of people who don't know any better. But you're not fooling those with the power and who know what's going on. You just make yourself.
Yeah. You just make it simple. I want to go ahead and play this video here, and I want to get your take on it here. All right, a lot of folks have been sharing this around, and I want to get your take on it. Troops stand by as Minneapolis protests intensify over the ICE shootings. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here we go.
Clashes in Minneapolis, they continue on the streets of that city. The confrontations there over immigration enforcement activity, and of course, as you may remember, the killing of a woman in that city has prompted the Trump administration now, officials with the Trump administration, to place more than 1,000 active duty soldiers on standby for a possible deployment there. CBS's Ian Lee in Minneapolis now with more.
As protests in the streets of Minneapolis pit pro-ICE demonstrators against anti-ICE demonstrators, a U.S. defense official tells CBS News 1,500 active duty soldiers are on standby in Alaska for possible deployment to Minneapolis.
Any way they can. What makes Governor Walz believe that he can call down the Minnesota National Guard to combat whatever federal agents or national guard that Trump wants to send here? It's like they're trying to set the groundwork for a civil war. What is that going to accomplish? What is that really going to accomplish? Do you really think that Minnesota National Guard are going to go to arms with federal agents or other National Guard that is brought down here by the president? What is he thinking? What does he think? If that's not an act of insurrection, sedition, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And if Trump, I think Trump is he's taking his time. He's not gonna rush. I think the longer he's deliberate and let the Democrats keep making mistakes like this, gives him more credibility that when he does enact the Insurrection Act and actually arrest Walls and Fry and Ellison and everybody else, he'll have the proper evidence, the proper context, the correct reasons to do it legally without any opposition to it.
Yep.
It's going to be, I just don't know what they think they're going to accomplish with what they're doing. They're making themselves look very guilty. How does Walls and Fry go on national television and give press conferences saying, hey, get the F out my city, we don't need you here, we don't want you here, but then say, oh, we're working with the federal law enforcement, we're working with the federal government. I mean, do they think people are that stupid? I don't understand. I do understand. They're desperate. They know they effed up. They know Trump's not playing. They know they have committed crime. In the Feeding Our Future scandal, bro, two of Jacob Fry's aides were indicted in that scandal. But when I ran against him for mayor in 2025, media, no one brings that up as why that should be a disqualifier for Fry to even be running again, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to cover up their criminality. When you play politics at this level, there is no. You've heard of I'm a Game of Thrones head. You ever heard of the TV show Game of Thrones?
Yep.
What do they say in Game of Thrones? When you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or die.
Yeah.
Right? That goes for real life politics. And when you're that deep and this serious, there is no I'm just gonna leave and live my life after this. Nah. When you've done the things that they've done, the fraud, the encouraging or proposing an insurrection to the federal government, you're in it to the end. There is no just walk away from it. You're either going to go to prison or you win. Right? That's their only two options. And they can't win, and they're going to end up going to prison. So they're doing whatever they can to try to stop that from happening, but they're playing a losing game at this point. They've done too much. There's no way. You can't walk this stuff back. Mm-hmm. You can't change the fact that we lost $19 billion in fraud. You can't change the fact that 50% of Somali immigration paperwork is fraudulent. You can't go back on allowing 200,000 illegal immigrants in the city over the last 16 years.
You can't. And Laverne, have you heard that Mayor Fry's wife is now proven to be involved in the Feeding Our Future scandal? Ain't that wild?
I knew that. I'm glad you brought that up. They're all connected, man. This is good. I've called DFL politics in Minnesota the mafia for a long time.
Oh yeah, they are.
This is mafia style politics. You know what I mean? A friend of yours, a friend of mine, a friend of ours.
Yep.
If you're not in that clique, you're nothing. All right. Everything they do, and they're trying to cover each other's backs, man. Come on, we all seen or heard the audio of Keith Ellison meeting with the Somali Feeding Our Future people, talking about he's not gonna let them stop payments on their Feeding Our Future monies that they were frauded. I mean, and if we lived in a more just world, and if we had Republicans in Minnesota with more courage.
Yeah, thank the Lord you said that. I wanted to speak to you about it. What do you think about these Republicans? Now, I've been saying it for a very long time. They have weak knees over here. You're going to want to tell you they have very weak knees. President Trump has came over here, and for him running his mouth for a month and a half I counted 47 days that Tim Walz had to drop out. Just because that white man at the office ran his mouth and everybody told him to be quiet, right? Even the Republicans were trying to keep down President Trump, but President Trump didn't do that. He kept running his mouth, and he ran it so much that Tim Walz had to drop out. Now, since the game has changed now, the chessboard has been changed, the Republicans have a special way for them to come in. What do you think about that? Can they come in?
No. I don't really believe the Republicans in Minnesota, even though this is the problem with the Republicans. Even in 2022, they just knew they were going to win the governorship and beat Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, in 2022. Oh, things are so bad. People got to vote for us. They don't understand the assignment, bruh. State elections in Minnesota are won in the 4th and 5th CDs, if you want to also include the 3rd and the 2nd, okay? And Republicans have a terrible reputation in the 4th and 5th, and they're losing ground in 3 and 2. And what happened? They lost because they do not campaign or bring their message or politically invest in the urban core or the 4th and 5th CD. And that's where the votes are. I don't care if you get 90% of rural Minnesota to vote red. There's more votes here in the 5th and 4th.
Yep.
2nd and 3rd to trump anything out in rural Minnesota. So if you don't politically campaign and invest in communities in the north side of Minneapolis, south side of Minneapolis, in St. Paul, South St. Paul, North St. Paul, you're not going to win. The Republican brand in Minnesota to the urban core, to the 4th and 5th CD is ruined.
Yeah.
No Republican candidate is going to win a statewide election. Maybe Royce might. Nobody else.
Do you think that, with that being said, because that's a very powerful statement, and that's, gosh darn, more practical of a statement than anything I've heard. All right, to be honest.
And the reason why I say that is, to be honest, full disclosure, I'm not a big Royce White fan, but when it comes to if he decides to actually get off his butt and campaign in the 4th and 5th CDs, like on the ground, instead of just doing podcasts and talking to Steve Bannon all day.
Steve Bannon, yeah, I know. I'm with you.
If he actually goes to work, on the ground, he could win a statewide election for U.S. Senate.
Yeah,
because he does have an appeal. Because he's a millennial for one, and he has this appeal of screw the anti-establishment.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's a winning message in the urban core.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, when I ran in 2025, 137,000 people voted that determined that election. Minneapolis is a city of 500,000 people. So you still left 300,000 votes on the table. People don't participate. People are disenfranchised. They don't believe the system works. They don't care about the system. They've been drifting around for so long. They don't trust it. They have no faith in our government. Period.
Yeah. All across the board, so they don't.
So if an anti-establishment candidate can resonate with those voters, he has a chance of winning. And I'm not even a Royce White fan.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's just looking at it from, a point of view that's, how can I say, pragmatic. You know what I'm saying? Royce White has that appeal. Now, if he got off his ass a little bit, you know what I'm saying, clean up that good-looking mustache he got on, the beard, and then he go down and speak to those folks in the 5th Congressional District and the Minneapolis area there, and hit the ball running, he'll be able to do it because he has that appeal. Even if it's a hard R, he has that appeal. and it's because of the way that he speaks, and also the establishment attitude. He's practical. You get what I'm saying? He's not so much into ideology so much. He's not an ideologue to the core. You get what I'm saying? He's more pragmatic. The problem, I think we need that.
The problem, yeah, and he brings that. And the problem with Republicans is, you know, they always talk about the left being in their little bubble. The Republicans have their own bubble as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, you know, and they can't see out their bubble because they think already people should already support them because they have the right policy, they got the right message. But if you don't go out there and earn that vote, politics is a what have you done for me lately business.
There you go. Thank the Lord you said
right? That. And for the urban core and the black community, what have they done for Minnesota GOP? What have they done for that? Nothing.
Nothing.
And they're not trying to. And that's why they're not able to win a statewide election. I don't care if it's Qualls, Jensen,
doesn't
Lindell, Mattel, Robbins, Damith. They in their bubble. They don't know how to communicate.
Too much money. They also got too much money. I've been to some of the events. They got too much money over there. Too much money, not enough diversity. I'm just honest about it. Too much money, not enough diversity, and not enough folks to shut up and listen to what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not able to win a statewide election like that because they don't have the ability to go and speak to these black and brown folks. They just don't. And they have a hard time knowing what to say. Go ahead.
And what's worse, they won't even work with someone like me who can do it on their behalf.
There you go.
That's the main problem. You ain't got to come here and talk to the community. You got Republicans like me and you already here that can do that, but y'all won't work with me.
Yeah.
You won't work with me.
See, they want a certain appeal. They want a certain look. And I know what you're talking about. They want a certain look. You know, a lot of times if you don't come from the same demographic, they're like, well, he's saying what we like and this, that, and the third. But they're not totally into it, and they have to get over it. It's a new ball game. The old white Republican mantra is gone. It is gone. You will never win an election again if that's the way you behave. You're going to have to get into the new times. A lot of folks now are what they call social Republicans because they're able to go and speak to folks of all different backgrounds, and that's exactly what they need to do. We have the right message, but they don't have the right messenger. And I believe if they had a black, even black folks like us that were able to go and speak to these communities in a way where we're able to, knock down attacks better than they can. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Bro, like I told you earlier about my professional career in nonprofit, I've been mentoring kids for 20 years in this community, right? My reputation in the community, and I'm not trying, I don't want to be boastful about it. I'm saying this in the most humblest way I can. I don't even have to really tell them, why you should vote for this person. My reputation with people in this community is so strong that I just have to say vote for this person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I gotta go give these big grandiose speeches about how good Republicans are or whatever. People trust me so much. If I say that's the guy you should mess with, they're gonna mess with.
That's it. Yeah.
And that in politics, to me, that's a commodity.
Oh,
right?
It is.
A very expensive commodity.
That's why the Democrats always went to people like Al Sharpton. Because Al Sharpton had that voting block they needed. Al Sharpton could say, yeah, vote for this white man. And guess what? They voting for that white man. Hook, line, and sinker.
Don't know nothing about him. Just they homeboy said vote for this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, that's power. That's power. And the fact that for years I've tried to lend this power to my fellow conservatives, and they refuse it over and over again. I don't know what to tell them anymore. I'm just like, hey, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm Laverne Turner.
Yeah.
I got skills. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna be all right. But if you really want to help the community, if you really feel you want to serve people, and you think your conservative message is the message that can do that, why wouldn't you work with me? Why wouldn't you spend the money? Even if you got, I'm like, don't about paying me. Spend the money in the hood. Spend the money.
Yep.
Democrats do it all the time, right? All the nonprofits that they give grants to and all this stuff during the legislature, city council, Hennepin County, those same organizations go out there and get people to vote for Democrats.
Yep.
Why? Because the Democrats have invested into them monetarily, financially. I'm not saying that Republicans should be taking government money from nonprofits, but what I'm saying is Republicans have money. And if you have, they can raise money. Use that private money from campaigns or however you want to structure it. Find people in their community who have credibility with the population and invest in that community. When you don't invest in the community, they feel like you don't care about them.
Absolutely.
Right? If you don't campaign in the community, they assume that you don't care about them. So if you don't see no Republican lawn signs or, people lit dropping for Republicans, that subconsciously tells you that they don't even care enough to even lit drop you.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you expect to win in the most populated areas where the votes are when you don't even give them no attention at all?
Absolutely.
I don't understand.
It's common sense. It's common sense. And I believe that in a sense, the MNGOP, behind closed door, I think they know this. They know that they need to be able to attract a certain demographic over. They need better candidates. They know, I think maybe they're okay with winning certain seats. That's what it looked like. Because they don't have the ability to go down and do what you're saying. You have to have somebody, no matter what. Even if you're going to lose, they need to be down there still spreading the message. And they don't have that. And another thing I believe, and they need to holler at me, I'll do some political consulting for them. They need to have a way to maybe a class where these folks come in and you sit down where you learn how to speak to these folks of color. Learn what's going on in their life. Learn the things to say when they say, well, I'm not going to vote for you. Republicans don't care about blacks. What is a white person going to say about that? These white Republicans don't care about blacks. You know what I'm saying? For a white Republican, that's hard for them to come back and say something to. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for them to go speak to Martha, who's 60 years old, who's white and 60 years old, and they know her background where they can speak slowly and speak nice and move forward, rather than having a black person say this to them and then look them in their eyes and they're not able to respond. What do you say to that?
What I say to that is, talk is cheap. I don't want you to talk to me. I don't want no talk. You don't gotta talk to me. I want you to talk. Show me what you're gonna do. Come to my community. Lit dropping door knock in my community. I don't want to listen to no talk. Talk is cheap. Show me that you're not there. Show me that you care. Right? I'm about to be I'm about to kind of play the female role for a second. When she's talking to her man. Show me that you care.
Yeah.
Right? Buy me those flowers.
Buy me those flowers. They gonna have to sweet talk
take me out
them.
to dinner.
You right? Yeah, you do an event here and there. The Democrats do it.
Show me that you care. I don't want no lip service. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me. I'm from the hood, yo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we hear cats talk shit all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta show me. Yo.
You're right. They need to come to the. They need to come down there and they need to do events. You know what I'm saying? Drop the lid. Maybe do a neighborhood barbecue. You know what I'm saying? The Republicans got the money. Roast a few pigs over there. You know what I'm saying?
We got a few of these aspiring, I would say, entrepreneurs that they do the smoke and barbecue. The brisket and the have an event where we have the who got the best barbecue, who got the best smoke. You know what I'm saying? Have an event like that. Highlight all the little aspiring entrepreneurs. Have a little taste test. You know what I mean? Show me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can do it.
Aspiring entrepreneurs.
The Republicans, if they wanted to, they can go to a lot of these businesses over north, throw them a little cash. You get what I'm saying? Yep. One thing I know that black folks love. Hold on. Including myself. You go ahead and drop some cash. Yeah. You drop a little cash down. You say you walk to the barber shop. Hey, I'm so and so. We trying to help revive around. Blah blah blah. You spit your spiel. You know what I'm saying? Tell them the stuff you want to do. Drop a little cash. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Guess what? Black folk gonna talk. They're going to be like, they over here dropping cash and stuff. They trying to help and revitalize. I'm trying to see what they say.
That's what I mean by investing in the community, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by politically investing in the community. Financially, politically, wherever we want to go. I want to talk about that. But what did Wu-Tang say? Cream, cash moves everything around me.
Yeah. It does. They got to spend the money.
Cash moves everything on me.
They got to spend the money. Okay, so since we're moving forward, we're about this subject as well before time runs out. All right. Jake Lang, far right influencer. He was in Minneapolis. Now, a lot of these influencers now are flying to Minneapolis. Some of them are causing trouble. I'm going to speak about that tomorrow's show. People like Jake Lang, he's getting into trouble. And I want to go ahead and show this clip. And when it comes back, I want to get your take on it. Some black brothers apparently helped save Jake Lang from him getting his ass whooped and a whole bunch of other stuff happening. So I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to speak to you about it. And depending on the time, we'll see where we're at here. Let me go ahead and run this. Make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share if you can. You got a little, Christmas money. Help us out. Throw some money in the bucket there. Help us out so we can reach the people who love and care about this broadcast and the people that are out there twisting in the wind. Let me tell you. Here we go. Make sure you hit that like button.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for some reason, it's not. Give me a quick second. It went off, y'all.
You talking about his appearance on?
On InfoWars. Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. He got away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Love you, Mom.
Brainwashing, but I see statistically blacks waking up faster than anybody. I see the web flooded with their videos. I'm in public. Black people run up to me and are totally waking up. I think it's very encouraging that it was almost no black folks at these things, and the few black folks there were protecting you. I mean, let's give them a hand here. I think they've really woken up on average.
Well, I mean, even the guys that said they were protecting me, a couple of those ski masked up Muslims were trying to pickpocket me as they were escorting me home out of that crowd. They're literally trying to steal from me, trip me up and stuff. So, the true intentions of these people, they hate my guts, and I don't think that
I'm talking about black people. Are you denying that we've gotten triple the votes from black people for Trump? There's a black awakening, I think, happening.
Alex, I have 2 words for you. Irina Zerusky. Irina Zerusky. Don't start with me on this type of wishy-washy, we've got to coddle to these people that are murdering us 41-1. Alex, don't start with me with that, because you will get this internal fire in me that thinks about that video of Irina Zerusky, some dread-headed, absolute animal with 20 prior arrests that was let out because he was black by one of these woke judges to commit another crime and murdered Irina Zerusky.
Jake, I think you're missing where I'm going here. I think you're not going to catch me
virtue signaling.
I'm not trying to. No. Listen.
I'm not going to virtue signal about my replacement. I'm very clear about my message. A future for Christians and white people in America.
You can get your
bow. So there you go. So Jake Lang, far right influencer. Now, you see what type of stuff he is saying now. There's a lot of these far right influencers like Jake Lang. These folks here are coming to Minneapolis. They're getting in a whole heap of trouble. And a lot of it is because of the stuff they're saying and the positions they're putting themselves in. And I believe they're doing it on purpose. What do you think about this here? Some black folks saved him. He says that Somalians and Muslims over there were trying to pickpocket him and hurt him. What do you think?
And when I saw the clip, well, for one, let me say this. I never even heard of Jake Lang before in my life until since
Same
this
with me.
popped up. But from what I know of him, that he's supposed to be some super Christian nationalist. Like he's about Christianity.
Yep,
so his
and white folk. He's about preserving the white race as well.
His fight is more against Islam.
Yeah.
Right? That's what and when Alex Jones asked him a question, I don't know if the black dude that I saw in the video protected him was actually black or whatever. I couldn't see, faces covered. But if that guy was black, Alex Jones was asking him, how do you feel about the black people who were pretty much saved your ass? I don't really think, and like most white people, I don't care what you are, on the left or the right, if you got dark skin, you're black.
Yeah.
Which to me is an insult, because
it is.
If you're not born in America and you got ancestry from slavery, you're not black like me.
Yep.
I don't care if you're Somali, Ethiopian, Kenya, Liberian, whatever you are.
Foundational black Americans.
Just because you got black skin or darker skin does not make you black. Does not make you a black American like me. They not like us. Okay, I'll say that up front.
Yep.
So from, I'm not making no excuses for this dude, but in his mind, in Jake Lang's mind, he don't see nothing. He don't see a Somali or black. He just see black people, period.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if there were Somalis trying to pickpocket him while the black guy was protecting him, he doesn't see the difference.
Yeah,
because he just knows darker skin.
Mm.
So Alex Jones' question doesn't even resonate with him fully, because he doesn't really see a difference between black Americans and Somalis, because they're all black.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up. That was a very good point, because a lot of these far right influencers, since there's been an opening in the conservative movement, it seems like they've been flooding in, and they've been hiding under a lot of these racists as well, and I've been speaking about them. They've been hiding under the free speech clause and being a conservative. And I believe they have anger in the wrong area, and I believe that the stuff that they're doing pushes folks, you know, off from the message a lot. Especially the stuff that they're doing. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because if black folks are so evil and such, like a lot of these folks are claiming, you can see that there's still some humanity there where they were able to still, you know, do what's right. They see somebody getting beaten up and save that person. So with all the turmoil going on and all the nonsense, we still have folks, in a sense, was going off into another tangent, and it was going to be a racist tangent, what he was going to do. So I wanted to point that out there, and I just wanted to get your take on it, because a lot of folks, you know, online, especially on the right here, and I do it from time to time, is I speak a lot about some of these black folks that are in Minneapolis doing the wrong thing and not doing the right thing. But I can see when things are going the wrong way, and these folks step up and do what is right. And I want to give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen 3 or 4 different videos of the event, and I can attest to you, they are black folks, and they did step in to save him from him getting his ass whooped. So you know, in that sense, with all the turmoil, people are still in a sense trying to do the right thing. And with that being said, we are running out of time here. Now, I want to go ahead and speak to you about one last thing before we end our program here. We have 6 prosecutors in Minnesota. They are resigning, okay? We have Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, all right? And we also have Tim Walz. They want to sue the Trump administration. What do you think about that? Is this another ploy for them to run undercover, or is this a genuine effort to, you know, quote unquote, get ICE out of there?
My take on the prosecutors leaving is that, you know, the corruption, the DFL control is permeated through all levels of government, okay? Law enforcement, judicial, city council, mayor, state, it's all, and the prosecutors wanted to be able to challenge the federal government on the what happened to Renee Good. And to me, it's just them doing whatever they can to resist Trump. To me, that's all I see. That's all I see. Now, if Trump was weak, like he was in his first term, and would have given in to an investigation, that would be just causing more trouble for the operation, for the narrative, to the mission. Trump is not falling for it this time. The prosecutors are mad that they can't bully Trump into an investigation on this matter. So instead of cooperating with the federal government, they're going to resign. That's part of, to resist what Trump is trying to do. They're all working together. You got Keith Ellison want to sue or demand an investigation. It's all
woman beater. Yeah, well, Keith Ellison, what do you think about him? I've seen him in a white beater. I think they call it a wife beater. I seen him in one of those. He was taking out the trash. Somebody snapped a pic of him. And I was like, you know what? He probably just got done being in his girlfriend. What do you think about that? You know, the Democrats are all about women. They're all about protecting women, believing women. You get what I'm saying? And Keith Ellison, you know, I believe he's Muslim. Keith Ellison, he Muslim, isn't he?
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's okay for them to do it.
Muslim. Now he's something else.
Yeah, he's something else. I know he wanted him, but
put it on mute or something.
Yeah, he's over there beating on his girlfriend. His girlfriend went to go tell. The Democrats didn't believe it. I mean, are the Democrats? What's wrong with them?
That's the hypocrisy of the left. That's the hypocrisy of the left. Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah.
They want to set the standard and all this stuff, but they don't follow it themselves. They don't. I mean, Keith was the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in my life. I don't know Keith personally. I know when I was a kid, a teenager, I used to work at the YMCA or North for the little summer day camp stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know his wife. Back then, a little young couple. I helped, I watched their kids. His wife was a lifeguard at the Y. And I remember when he was thriving, studying lawyer. I remember when he turned to Keith Esquire. I know Keith. I actually went to the same mosque that he went to, back in the day for a hot second. So I know Keith. You know what I mean? And to watch him evolve into this, maybe he was always like that, and I was a teenager and I didn't put it all together or whatever. But watching him now, the man's a straight communist. I mean, when he's taking pictures with the Antifa handbook.
That's what I said. Oh my goodness. You can't get around it, Laverne. This man, oh my God, there's so many crazy pictures that the man's taking. This man put out some information talking about he's been on the fraud. He's been the first one sounding the fraud. He put out a post like that. I put Negro please on there. I said, come on. But I mean, apparently somebody will believe it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody will.
Well, that's because we're so tribal right now, as far as political ideology is concerned. The left, they don't care if their guy is right or wrong. If he's part of the left, they're gonna support him no matter what. And same on the Republican side. That fringe group. They don't care how incendiary or racist sounding or insensitive Jake Lang might sound. They're still gonna ride with Jake Lang because he's on their side.
Yeah.
I don't see the difference.
I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Gina Barfield. Gina Barfield donated through Cash App. Shout out to Gina. Let me go ahead and give you the customary.
Hey, yo, Jado.
Yep, I got you. So with that being said, brother, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really do. We're going to have to get you on regularly. I had a good time speaking with you.
I hope we can do this more often, bro.
Absolutely. And it looked like the crowd enjoyed you as well. And I think that you got a few fans, and we share some good friends together as well, looks like. So, brother, I want to go ahead and thank you, and you take care of yourself.
You too, bro.
All right.
I'm not a crook.
All right, take care. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Laverne Turner. Let's go ahead and give him a round of applause. Let's go ahead and give it to him real quick. Yeah. So that was a round of applause for Laverne Turner. Now, I'm probably going to replay this this podcast probably tomorrow. I don't know what's going on. I think we were having some internet issues starting off. I know this whole day has been wonky because of the cold here in Minneapolis, here in the town that I'm in my home. Let me tell you, it's cold. It's frigidly cold. Negative. It's very cold. So everything ain't working. I went to the store. The gosh darn freezers are out at the store. Yeah, that's how cold it is. So while we're dealing with all this, we're still able to to bring you guys what's good. All right. So I think that's good with all the trouble. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end the show. We will be on 7 p.m. Central. Just me, myself. We're going to have a very special guest next week as well. So make sure you guys tune in. Hopefully we'll have better internet going forward. I know that, we do have good internet. There's something going on with the weather.